Are you wanting to avoid failing shinies just like these? Well, allow me to lend you a helping hand. In today's video, we're going to go over the best Pokemon for catching wild Pokemon. Using the Pokemon and strategies I mentioned in this video, you will likely never fail a shiny again. Before I get into it, I just wanted to quickly say, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I love making content for you guys and I want to keep doing this for you. But to do that, I need your support. Subscribing is completely free and it helps me so much more than you know. Now let's get right into this. Now the first Pokemon I'm going to mention is Breloom. Now Breloom has access to Spore and False Swipe. What's better at ensuring a Pokemon can't get off an annoying move that will self-KO? Well, putting the Pokemon to sleep. Now this may not be the most reliable strategy since a Pokemon can wake up at any turn and get those moves off, but this is a really quick kind of band-aid solution. I'll get into what I think is the best Pokemon for catching Pokemon right after this one, but this is too good to not get at least this honorable mention. False Swipe is a 40 base power normal move, and that may not seem too impressive, but the key to this move lies in its passive. False Swipe cannot KO a wild Pokemon. It will always be left with 1 HP, meaning you could not KO a wild Pokemon with this move even if you land a critical hit. False Swipe has been used by shiny hunters for as long as it's been around. It is the best move for catching wild Pokemon, and Breloom is the only Pokemon that learns both False Swipe and Spore. Spore is a move that will put your opponent to sleep and has 100% accuracy. It is the only move of its kind. Now, other notable moves you can throw on this Pokemon are things like Bulk Up and Rest, boosting your defenses and upping that False Swipe damage, and also healing you for that longevity. You never know how many balls it's going to take to catch a wild Pokemon. And thanks to access to the ability Technician, you essentially get Stab on False Swipe, which is great. If you use this as your Pokemon to catch Pokemon, you'll land most of them and have not many issues. Though, as I said, Sleep is not the most reliable way to stop a lot of those moves. If Pokemons have moves with Recoil, or Self-Destruct, or Final Gambit, or Memento, how do you stop that? Well, there are 2 more Pokemon I'm going to mention that will do that, including this next one, which is, I think, the best Pokemon for catching wild Pokemon, and that is Gallade. Gallade has been a favorite among shiny hunters for generations, and it's because of the incredible move pool this Pokemon gets, having access to a choice of either Thunder Wave or Hypnosis. And of course, accessibility to False Swipe makes Gallade a pretty good Pokemon, though that's not why it stands out as strong as it does. Gallade can also learn Mean Look, which stops those opponents from being able to flee. A shiny Pokemon will never be able to run from you again. Gallade also has access to Heal Pulse, which you can use on enemy Pokemon. If an enemy Pokemon is using recoil moves like Double Edge or Wild Charge, well, Gallade can heal up that recoil. That's really helpful, especially when opponents start to struggle, since in this generation we have no access to Trevenant and the beautiful Trick Harvest Leper Berry. Another thing Gallade is able to do is use both Memento and Imprison, meaning Gallade can stop enemy Pokemon from using Memento and knocking themselves out. It also has Taunt to stop the enemy Pokemon from recovering with things like Synthesis to keep their health pretty low if you want to catch them. Now, how does Gallade stop opponents from using moves like Final Gambit? The answer to that is pretty simple. Gallade gets access to both Protect and Disable. If you Protect in front of a wild Pokemon the turn it uses Final Gambit, you can follow that up the next turn by using Disable and stopping the opponent from being able to use that move at all. Gallade has all of the tools to catch a shiny Pokemon no matter what it holds, and I highly recommend that you have one of these on your team just ready to go in case you see that perfect shiny. Now, Gallade is an amazing Pokemon, but there's still one thing it can't do. It can't False Swipe a Ghost-type Pokemon. So what do we do about that? In this generation, we don't have access to a Pokemon like Pangoro that has Scrappy and False Swipe, and we don't want to use moves that can risk knocking out the Pokemon. Well, enter Golduck. Golduck is probably one of the most underrated Pokemon to use for catching wild Pokemon. With access to the ability Damp, it can stop Pokemon from even using the move Self-Destruct or Explosion. Not only that, but Golduck also learns Disable, meaning that when the wild Pokemon goes for Self-Destruct and fails, Golduck can just freely disable it the next turn, allowing you to switch out and use something else. Though why does Golduck help with False Swiping Ghost Pokemon? Well, Golduck itself doesn't actually learn False Swipe, but it does learn the move Soak. Soak changes the typing of the enemy Pokemon into a water type, meaning that Pokemon can now be hit by False Swipe. It will no longer be a Ghost type Pokemon. It also itself has access to things like Taunt and Hypnosis. Golduck can really help set up a Pokemon for your Gallade to knock it down. This dynamic duo is actually pretty unstoppable when it comes to catching wild Pokemon. There's really not much it can't do. If you want a safer way of dealing with those Final Gambit Pokemon, you can use a Ghost type. One I'd recommend is Ceruledge. Scarlet is the only ghost type that's in the game at the moment that gets access to False Swipe, the move I've been mentioning this entire video. It itself also gets Protect and Disable, though it can't Thunder Wave or Hypnosis the Pokemon for the extra status chance. And trust me guys, you don't want to use Will-O-Wisp, you don't want to burn the Pokemon and risk it fainting. We're going for that 100% chance to catch here. So feel free to use Scarlet as that Pokemon to absorb those final gambits since the Pokemon can't use it against you. I hope you found this video helpful and it gave you what you came for. I am making daily videos about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at the moment, and I'm really trying to push to 10,000 subscribers. If this helped you at all, please let me know down in the comment section, or if you have any other great ideas, let me know. I love learning from all of you. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.